In this video, we'll cover how to enhance the default formats created by Excel and/or Boardwalk and accommodate any other changes that users may request. To begin, let's create a format for our drop-down list cuboid. Switch to the drop-down list sheet. You'll notice that the cuboid currently lacks formatting, displaying a white background with data on it. For beginners, let's introduce some color, center the heading, and add borders. We'll utilize Excel's formatting feature to accomplish this. Select the heading row to be formatted first, with a shade of blue as background color and white font color. Let's horizontally center the headings and vertically align them to the top of the cells. Now, let's proceed to format the rows. To do this, simply select the first row and apply formatting. For simplicity, let's start by adding borders to the cells. Now, let's make sure that the first two columns are open for updates, meaning they are not locked. Select the first row of the two columns, right-click, and choose Format Cells from the menu. In the Format Cells pop-up, navigate to the Protection tab and ensure that the Locked option is not selected. Click on OK to close the pop-up. In the last column, you'll notice the BWID column. When we performed a link export of our drop-down list, this column wasn't present. Velocity automatically adds this column and hides it, and always appended to the end of the data range. The values in the BWID column represent the row IDs and are unique. Let's assign a gray background to the first cell. Also, this column needs to be protected and hidden. Assume for now we are done with our formatting. In Velocity, we need to create a format and assign it to the sheet. Select the first two rows of the sheet and select Format Data from the Boardwalk Velocity tab, followed by Generate Format from the drop-down menu, and then Single Row Format. A pop-up window indicating the format has been generated shows up. Click on OK to continue. Next, we need to associate this format with this sheet. Select Format Data, followed by Assign Format, and click on the format name. A pop-up window indicating the format has been assigned shows up. Click on OK to continue. Now we need to see how the generated and assigned format looks on the whole data. To do this, we will go back to Format Data and select Test Format this time. The format has been applied to the whole data table. It's important to remember that Velocity operates on ranges. The drop-down list in the workbook constitutes a range, and the format we generate is also a range. Therefore, when testing the format, it's applied to the cuboid data range. It's crucial to note that the format range exists solely within the workbook. Hence, if any changes to the format occur, users will need to be provided with a new workbook. In Velocity, you might have observed that there's a default format provided. We can apply the default format to see how it looks. This default format is identical to the one applied when we initially created the drop-down list cuboid. To revert to the format we had just generated and assigned, simply click on Test Format under Format Data. When a user downloads the template, this assigned format will be applied to the data downloaded. A few key points to emphasize: Velocity provides the flexibility to leverage any of the available Excel formats for the data to generate the format, including data formats like general, number, currency, accounting, short and long dates, time, percentage, fractions, scientific, and text. You can use the alignment features. Wrap text, all font types and colors, background colors. Bold, italics, underline, and cell borders. Once a format has been generated and assigned, it can be regenerated by clicking on Generate Format any number of times. And you don't need to reassign the format every time you generate it. Let's shift our focus to the EOM report and see how we format this tab. This tab, like the drop-down list, does not have any formatting applied to it. We have two options: we can manually format each cell, or we can copy-paste the format from our source file. We opt to choose the easier way, That is, to open the data file, select the range of data to copy format from. Copy the format, switch back to our Velocity workbook. Select the area we want to copy to and paste special formats. Followed by paste special column widths. Let us also adjust the heights of the rows. For this sheet 1, we'll notice the formats of the rows are different. Row 2 is different from row 3 and row 4. In this case, the single row format will not work. Velocity has another format, measure format. Measure format works where a fixed repeating format pattern can be observed in the data. In this case, there is only one such pattern, which is the whole data sheet. Before we generate the format, let us hide the BWID column. To generate a measure format, select the entire dataset, then select Format Data from the Boardwalk Velocity ribbon, click on Generate Format, and click on Measure Format. A confirmation pop-up window shows. Click on Yes to continue. A pop-up window indicating the format has been generated shows up. Click on OK to continue. Next, we need to associate this format with this sheet. Select Format Data, followed by Assign Format, and click on the format name. An information window pops up indicating the format has been generated. Click on OK. In the Design Mode video, we discussed the presence of configuration sheets that become visible when you switch the Velocity template to Design Mode. One of these configuration sheets stores the formats that we just learned to generate. The Velocity Design Framework facilitates easy access to these sheets. Let's explore how we can view the configuration sheet for the formats we generated. We can navigate to this sheet from the Format Data menu, select on View/Edit Assigned Format, and we are taken to the configuration sheet, in this case row format. Notice that cells AA16 to AM32 are highlighted. This is the format that is applied to the data. Notice the name of the highlighted cells, SKU Format EOM Report. If you were to click down on the name box menu, you will find other formats for the EOM report data. Select the SKU Format EOM Report Copy SKU. You will find another section selected on the worksheet. Let's increase the size of the name box so that the complete range names are visible. Select SKU Format EOM Report Insert SKU. A different section is selected. Velocity uses named ranges to refer to the formats. Hence, you can also navigate to the format by just selecting the format you want to access. Let's try this with SKU Format EOM Report. It brings us to the format. Now, let's see the formats for our drop-down list cuboid. We can navigate to the sheet by clicking on Go to Application Sheet and selecting the cuboid name. This is a convenient way to navigate to our data sheet in the Velocity workbook. Remember, only sheets with corresponding cuboids will appear in this menu. Selecting drop-down list takes us to the cuboid. Navigating to the format of the sheet from Format Data, View/Edit Assigned Format takes us to the row Format Configuration sheet and to the area where the format is stored. Notice the range name and the location of the format. It is different from our EOM report format. The format for this cuboid was a single row format. Here is the insert row format. Since this is a single row format, there is only one row for the format. And here is the copy row format, which also is only a single row. And we can switch back to the display format. We will explore the usage of copy and insert row formats in the future. Thus, for a single row format, you see the header row, plus 3 more rows. At this point, you might ask the question, what about the transaction cuboid format? We did not create those? That is true. Velocity created the formats based on the format that was provided. Let's navigate to the transaction cuboid first. Followed by exploring the assigned format for the cuboid. Velocity generated a single row format and stored in the template during the onboarding process. Another question may be, can I edit the format for transaction cuboid? Yes, that format can be further edited too. You can change the format here and generate the format again, as we saw earlier. In summary, in this video we explored how to format the data that we link imported. We explored the various functions available under Format Data menu, that is, what the default format looks like, generating the two most commonly used formats used, single row and measure. Assigning format to the data sheet, viewing or editing the associated format, and finally how to test the format. We also took a peek at the sheet that stores the configuration of the formats. Next, we will explore modifying the right-click options available in Velocity.